Hi, my name's Linda and I'd like to critique my first few days at placement. So for some background information, I did my usual organisational things such as a dry run to see where parking is, how long it would take me. I looked on the internet to check out the company values and mission statement, how many facilities they had and how many residents they had in each facility. On my first day, I was feeling extremely nervous. I had butterflies in my stomach, I was sweating profusely, and when I do get nervous, I have a tendency to go blank. I did, however, remember Nigel's tip on smiling and greeting everyone, so I did that. I also wrote down key people's names that we were introduced to. Now, at lunchtime on the first day, the OTAs asked if we could assist them feed lunch to the residents in the dementia wing. Now, this made me feel really anxious because I've had nothing to do with feeding. I also know that dysphagia is quite high in residential care, and so therefore I asked if we could observe and then see. So we did that, and I still wasn't feeling comfortable. So I went to uni and I asked Nigel what his recommendations would be, and he suggested that we just feed our resident lunch. So I went to placement the next week and I observed our resident, and she was independent in her eating. So then I said to the OTA that I'm not feeling comfortable and that I don't want to do this. Well, when I did this, her whole demeanour changed and she wasn't as friendly and she wasn't as forthcoming with resources or how the facility runs. So, how did this make me feel? Well, I felt quite anxious and I also was feeling quite conflicted because I had the expectations of the facility and then the expectations of the university. And I really didn't know how that would be um, with insurance with the university if I was to do anything wrong and cause the resident harm. So I was quite aware that, yeah, this would reflect badly on me. As a consequence of this, the OTAs have made snide comments about us being able to do anything, and that has been quite difficult. What did I learn professionally? I learned that I should have clarified my role as an occupational therapy student and also understood what the expectations were of the facility. And I didn't do that, and it really did have consequences for us. I also need to understand that I will not be friends with everybody and that I have to have a professional persona, and it's about keeping the professional persona. So it also showed me the importance of assertiveness because I was only just trying to stick up for my rights as a student so that I didn't get in trouble and I did get attitude. My planned action is to continue to smile and greet because I think that's a really important tool, especially when I'm new to a facility and I'm trying to find out information of how things run and where I can find resources. I will try to understand the load of my occupational therapist and try to lighten that load. I do have to mention while I remember, another thing that might have impacted on this scenario was that we didn't have an occupational therapist until week 4, so I couldn't have gone to her to even discuss this with her because she wasn't there. However, I could have gone to the facility manager and discussed this with her. Now back to my planned action. So I will clarify my role as an occupational therapy student with the OT on next year's prac. I will also clarify what the facility's expectations are of the OT student. I will also read the procedures so that I understand what is expected from a student and what's not. I will attend certain assertiveness training because I now understand how vital assertiveness training is in this role as an occupational therapist. It's not just for me, but it's also for the clients that I will see or the residents that I may be seeing. and I'd like to attend the Curtin Council's Assertive Communication, which I've enrolled in for next semester. I would also like to attend the Peter Yu Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, because I think that's going to be pretty much how it is for my career. And I've also signed up to his webcast because I think, podcast, because I think that he will have some really useful information that I can actually use in my practice. He also had a seminar called something about difficult communication, difficult conversations. Yeah, I want to go and do that. I think that would be very good. And I would also like to read this article called Managing Difficult Workplace Conversations, because I think that I'm going to have quite a few in this role as an occupational therapist. So thank you very much for listening, and that's all.